Welcome to the Prestin Sexton podcast today. I'm your slow host, Gabriel Sexton, alongside Mr. Preston DeVille. I was waiting. Dramatic pause. Today we'll be talking about the Oscars. I think we almost have to talk about the most infamous moment in any award show, maybe besides Kanye.
Yeah, Amy Schumer, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No. We're talking about the slap heard around the world. Will Smith slaps Chris Rock.
What slap? I haven't seen a single thing about it on Twitter, Facebook, or TikTok.
I have my organizational comm professor. He's from Ghana. You know Ephraim.
Yeah.
He's like, I am making a conscious effort to not watch the video. I'm like, okay.
It's like, do you not have social media? Like, I was at a hockey game. I wasn't on my phone because, I was like watching the game. And I got back into on the bus, opened my phone, and then went on to Twitter to see what was up, And all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, Will Smith slaps Chris Rock at the Oscars. And I'm like, okay, I need to watch this now. And then I went and not kidding you, went down another post, and yep, there was the video.
Of all the ways to find out, I was laying in my bed listening to the Fox Sports radio, and they're like, I think Will Smith just absolutely cracked Chris Rock. I'm like, what? So then I literally pulled my phone off the charger, looked at it, and I was like, yeah, he got him.
But we'll talk about that later.
Later.
We'll kind of break it down later in the episode. But first we're just gonna go over some winners, kind of state our opinions on them. Kind of and at the end we'll give a review of the Oscars if we think they were successful or complete dog crap. Probably be closer to that, but hey. So let's just hop right into the big winners.
Yeah.
So obviously, best motion picture of the year went to Coda.
Yeah, Children of Deaf Adults. Really good. It was really good.
I haven't said it, so I can't have too much of an opinion on it. But looking at it, there's not a film that if it would have won, I would have been like, oh, it should have went to this one. It's like,
I'm so happy Don't Look Up didn't win. I hated that movie.
You did?
I don't like it. It's too in your face. I don't like when movies try to get and have a political agenda. It bothers me. It really does. That movie, I'm glad Licorice Pizza didn't win. We talked about this.
Me too. Licorice Pizza fans, the worst right now. On Twitter, oh my God, shut up. No one cares about your movie.
About your child molestation movie. She's 24 and he's 16. I'm like, still underage. I'm like, that's still a minor. That's still
a crime.
What gay shit? The law? Missing me with that. Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. If I had to choose one film I wanted to win out of all these, it's got to be either Dune or West Side Story.
I was thinking that too. I watched Dune for the first time. I think about a month ago, I kind of thought it was a little overrated. I'm like, oh, this is really good.
Shut your whore mouth, Gabe. I'm just kidding.
I just think it's a little overrated. And not a ton.
For me, it's the story was a little slow, but that's because it's
it's part one.
It's part one. But the cinematography and visuals and costumes and everything was peak.
It's pretty good. I'm not saying I got no discredit, but people are like, this is our generation Star Wars. I'm like, Star Wars was a cultural reset at the time.
I was about to say, but I could see it becoming something big, and then something in 30 years, people will look back at it and be like, that's the sci-fi movie of the 2020s.
I actually realistically think it's more comparable to Lord of the Rings, in my opinion, where I'm like, okay, this has outstanding film techniques and whatnot.
It's just nowhere near as good as any of the Lord of the Rings movies.
You think so? You think Dune versus Lord of the Rings?
I'm going to say one thing, Dune for me is a B+ movie. Lord of the Rings is an S+ movie.
I'd agree with that. To me, it's just people talked up Dune like it was the movie of the year. I'm like, oh, I think it's really good. I don't think it's...
Like, we all know what the movie of the year is.
Coda.
No.
Coda. It's Coda. To them, it was Coda. Yeah, I want to watch West Side Story, though. I know it's on Disney.
Too. I know it's on Disney Plus and on HBO Max. So, like, there's no excuse to why I haven't watched it. Like, I heard it's better than the original, so it's like, I should probably watch it.
That's what I hear, too. And the only problem is that the dude actually raped a girl, I think.
Yeah, it's like, oh, our lead is a rapist, I guess.
Anyone from Cleveland or Pittsburgh gotta love
Hollywood.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna take Will Smith's Oscar away. It's like, well, what about Harvey Weinstein's?
Yeah, doesn't that dude have like 80?
He has 61 Oscars. He has 61.
Everyone's like, yeah, gotta take Will Smith's away. It's like, bro, Harvey Weinstein was literally like a terrible human being.
Yeah, he was actually terrible. He was an awful human. Yeah, I've kind of just, I wouldn't say I've given up on the Oscars by any means, but they're so hypocritical to the point where I'm like, this isn't even.
I've given up on the Oscars.
Well, these like, movies aren't even movies that you like.
It's like people don't like half of these people don't watch. Like, if we're being honest, like Nightmare Alley. Did anyone actually like?
I have no desire to see that. I have none.
It's like, did anyone watch that? But it's like, honestly, did anyone watch that movie? Like, I don't think I've talked to a person besides like maybe a couple people in my film class. That's because they're film people.
Right, they're film nerds.
Yeah, but it's like King Richard. Like, I heard it was like a good movie, but
not entertaining.
But like, for me, it just seems like a basic like sports, like
drama
uplifting movie. Yeah,
sports drama.
Like,
that's fair.
Yeah, it's like it's probably on the same level as like The Blind Side, which is just a decent movie.
That's probably true. I did want to watch The Power of the Dog, but then they're like, oh, it talks about homosexuality in the West. And I'm like, I'm not homophobic, but some things like just don't mix. Like, I don't want to have gay cowboys. I don't want Ram Ranch. You know, I'm like, I just kind of want to.
So you're not a Brokeback Mountain guy either?
I've never seen it, so no, I can't say I'm a Brokeback Mountain guy. But, I mean, cast me down, if you will, but I just think that gay cowboys, just not my thing. Just not my thing.
And then I look at, like, some of the stuff that actually gets done with, like, Don't Look Up. Like, the most Oscar baity film in this.
I hated that movie.
It's like, I don't think many people actually like that movie.
I don't like when things become too... That movie felt very, very soy Wojak to me. They're like, oh, it's like Trump. It's like Trump. Like that, you know what I mean? They're like, this is what the government's like. Shut up. Like, just shut up.
It's like, we know how the government is like. It's full of a bunch of assholes who only care about their personal agenda.
If the world was ending,
we don't need
this is what it would be like. It was just dumb to me because I watched it with my mom and that's what she's like, well, that's how it would be. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. No. She's like, that's how it would be. That's
if the world
that's
was
what
ending.
would happen. They would just say, don't look up. Don't look up. Don't look up at the sky.
If the world was ending, the world would be in complete utter chaos.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, they'd hide it. Well, no. There's leaks for everything. And
WikiLeaks.
There's literally leaks.
WikiLeaks.
There's literally leaks for everything in U.S. government. Like, something would break out. I'd be like, one guy would tell his wife, like, oh my God, the world's ending. And then it would be
have you
complete
seen the
utter
purchasing chaos of this guy that's a scientist on this project? Yeah, that to me that kind of drove me nuts. That part, like the whole premise of the movie is that like, oh, this is how it would be. Like, okay, like this gives me nothing.
And then one last gripe I have about the freaking Oscars is that it's just a bunch of like hypocritical celebrities trying to tell us what the real world's like.
Yeah,
it's like Leonardo DiCaprio. You have no idea what the actual real world is.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
You've been in a bubble, in the Hollywood bubble, since you were a teenager.
Well, it's kind of ridiculous too.
And then he's like, "Ooh, we got to talk about climate change," as he flies back and forth on a private jet between sets. It's like, dude, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, you're a hypocrite at this point.
Do you remember during the pandemic when they dropped that video of all of them singing? And they're like, "This is for the public," and I'm like, "This does nothing." Do you remember that at all?
Yes, but one thing that really pissed me off about it was like when celebrities are like, "Oh my God, we're all stuck at home. We're all alike." It's like, no. It's like, I'm stuck at home in a college dorm. Or like, people are stuck at home in their like normal like middle class houses.
Yeah.
You're stuck at home in a mansion.
Sam Smith breaking down. He's like, "I can't do this anymore." I'm like, "You don't have to live in a little square house with
Or it's like,
3 other people, Sam Smith."
Or it's like Evangeline Lilly like talking about it. It's like, shut up. You literally have a pool, a home theater, and a bunch of other shit in your house.
Yeah, it's like, I want to go to my room, and you won't have to hear anyone's voice for the rest of the day. If I want to go to my room, I still hear everything that goes on outside of my room. It's more of a symbolic type thing.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm going to my room. It's like, it doesn't mean anything.
So it's like, yeah,
it means nothing.
These celebrities are like giving us lectures on the real world. And it's like, you have no idea.
Yeah, I'm like, arguably the most real human being is probably Will Smith at the moment, ironically. Twope. So, obviously, yeah, I do like the best motion picture for sure. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm cool with it.
I'm fine with it. I'm looking at best performance by an actor in a leading role. And of course, it was Will Smith.
That was the happiest, funniest coincidence maybe ever, was him slapping Chris Rock and then going up to get his award for best performance by an actor.
And he's just like he gave like a speech on like love or something like that.
And protecting people.
Yeah,
protecting
it's like,
people. He got a standing ovation. And I think that's so weird, where Hollywood's like, we would never condone violence. And then they immediately stand up and give him thunderous applause. What is Hollywood anymore? It's so hypocritical. I'm sick of it.
But are you fine with the win?
I would have maybe said Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom.
That was my personal, like, that's who I thought should have won. But it's like, I can't really complain about Will Smith winning it.
Yeah, because I didn't watch King Richard. I did watch Tick, Tick, Boom. I like Tick, Tick, Boom just because he displays the sort of manic energy the guy actually had that you needed to write Rent. So it's good. I'm fine with it.
But Tick, Tick, Boom should have won. Or Andrew Garfield probably should have won.
I don't think he should. Well, if Will Smith gets his taken away, it should go to Andrew Garfield. That's where it should go.
Can we just talk about how, like, Andrew Garfield has been nominated for, like, 4 or 5 Oscars now, I think, at this point, and hasn't won yet?
No, he really hasn't, because he was in Hacksaw Ridge.
The Facebook one. I forget.
Oh, The Social Network.
Social Network.
I hated that movie.
I actually liked that movie.
I watched that movie as a kid. I'm like, this is stupid.
And then he got nominated for this movie. I think he's been nominated for one other one.
Trying to think. He had Hacksaw Ridge, Social Network. Yeah, take a peek in there. For Spider-Man.
He's been nominated for 2 Oscars. Oh yeah, he wasn't even nominated for The Social Network.
He was great.
Everyone's like, how didn't he get like a Best Actor in Supporting Role nomination? But yeah, it's like, you kind of look at it, like a lot of big name actors now for this year. It's like Will Smith, Andrew Garfield, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Denzel Washington.
Javier Bardem.
Like, I'm talking about like A-listers. Like,
yeah, there wasn't like any shocking revelations in a movie.
There were like
this
no
year.
like small name actors like nominated. Like there's usually like 1 or 2
like
every
one
year.
foreign guy. Usually, and it's not. I'm not discrediting that.
Or like
at
a
all.
guy on like his like 3rd project.
Yeah,
like a breakout type thing. This one you just had a bunch of just established actors nominated.
Yeah, arguably the least established is Andrew Garfield, which is ironic because he's very established.
Yeah, it's like he's like the least established, and he's like an A-lister.
the best performance by an actress in a leading role. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't watch any of these movies. I didn't watch any of them.
I'm gonna lie.
You're going to lie?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't either.
No, I'm like, I was looking through these. I'm like, I've never heard of these.
But it's like, to be honest, I haven't seen any of the ones for a leading role in an actor either.
I did watch Tick Tick Boom. I did not watch The Power of the Dog. Obviously.
Like, what's the tragedy of Macbeth? Or being the Ricardos? Like, I haven't even heard of those.
I wanted to watch The Tragedy of Macbeth because it's on Apple. Like, oh, okay, I'll watch it.
I canceled my Apple subscription.
Boo you.
Well, no, it's like Ted Lasso's like the only thing on there, so I'm not gonna keep it for 5
Well, now it's got Macbeth.
Yeah.
You gotta go watch Macbeth? I'll probably watch Macbeth. I want to, anyways.
But out of like all these women, like, is there like just like an actress you wanted to just win an Oscar?
Kristen Stewart. I wanted to see her full-on redemption arc from Twilight.
I was kind of the same way. It's like that'd be hilarious. Like, you have Robert Pattinson, who's redeemed himself. You have Kristen Stewart, like, she was just nominated for an Oscar, and then there's Taylor Lautner, who's still. What is he doing nowadays?
He got fat. I don't know if you know that. He got really fat. Yeah, look him up. He got fat.
Really?
Type it in the computer. Yeah, look up Taylor Lautner. He's kind of got fat. Because I remember I saw it and people were making fun of him. I'm like, well, that's just mean. I'm like, if a woman did this, you wouldn't say this.
I don't think I'd call him fat. I think I would just call him swole.
Look up fat Taylor Lautner. I swear, I've seen a picture of like a real life fat Taylor Lautner.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I just keep getting this transformation from that.
Just look up fat Taylor Lautner. I swear, it'll come up. I promise. If it doesn't, this one's on me. Damn, what you watching? I'm kind of mad now. I'm like, well, I swear. Yeah, he's kind of chubby now.
Oh, that's because he gained weight for a role.
Well, he's still not shredded. He's still not.
Yeah, but he's gonna like lose that in.
He's just dirty bulking.
Yeah, it's like bulking. It's like, yeah, he's big now, but like he'll lose that in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's how actors work. I did want to see, and I would say the same thing with the women of like, okay, there's really no one I've never heard of nominated.
Yeah. Honestly, though, yeah. Like, I haven't really heard of Olivia Coleman all that much.
I know of her. I haven't seen too much of her work, but I do know of her.
Yeah, I don't. I have no idea who she is. I'm gonna look at her discography. Or filmography. Huh. Yeah, nothing I would watch. She seems to be in like a lot of the like stuff like The Crown.
Yeah.
Like kind of stuff like that.
Like not middle-aged white women shows, but
no, 100% middle-aged white women.
I was thinking like women our age type shows. With like, have you seen The Crown? Like,
no, I'm thinking like ones my mom watched. Because I saw The Crown. I'm like, well, I know she watched that.
Speaking of which, I woke up this morning on my couch and my mom was watching 911 Lone Star. And I was like, where am I? I'm like, is this a glitch in the simulation? Woke up on my couch. I'm like, where am I?
Hey, we'll hop into best performance by an actor in a supporting role. In Troy Coaster, won one for Coda.
Yeah,
I think that's like the first like winner, and it's like, oh, who's
makes
that?
Sense. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense because the movie's really, really good, and yeah, he was pretty great in that.
It's like it looks like he's been in Hollywood for a long time, but it's like he's like a very unknown actor. Like this is like the first like breakout Oscar win, for it's like a guy who's not that established yet, winning an Oscar, and I mean. He went against some like pretty big names, like Ciarán Hinds, J.K. Simmons, Jesse Plemons. Like, those three are pretty big pretty big names, I should say.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see J.K. Simmons win, honestly.
J.K. Simmons so versatile in every role. He can be the bad guy, he can be the good guy, he can be a menace, he can be funny. He can be everything.
Yeah, but I'm fine with Tony winning. I think I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So on to the actress in a supporting role, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. I haven't seen it, but I know someone was like, "Yeah, I'd be shocked if she didn't get it."
I've read the reviews, and it sounds like she should have won.
Me too. To be honest, like I said, I haven't watched any of these other movies. Maybe I'm a male manipulator, but I just haven't seen these movies.
And I mean, honestly, it would have been pretty cool to see Kirsten Dunst win, but I think the right person won here.
Yeah, there's that. Who else was in there? Judy Dench, pretty accomplished, so
huge actress.
Yeah, so that's where I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter that much.
Best achievement in directing, which I think is just best director. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I should just gave it to Spielberg.
No, give it to my boy Kenneth Branagh. He's Hercule Poirot.
I don't know what that is.
Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to, but I haven't.
He was Gilderoy Lockhart in Harry Potter. He's like a Shakespearean actor that is now a director.
But I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of surprised Paul Thomas Anderson didn't win.
Yeah, me too. Because everyone talked up Licorice Pizza like it was goated with the sauce.
Yeah. And it's Paul Thomas Anderson, one of the biggest directors.
There will be blood.
Hollywood.
There will be blood.
So I'm kind of surprised that didn't win. But I really don't have an opinion on this because, like I said, I haven't really seen any of these movies.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like, Belfast looks like it's probably pretty good.
I heard Drive My Car's pretty good, and I heard West Side Story's pretty good.
Yep.
But it's like, I have no want to see Licorice Pizza or Power of the Dog.
Yeah, there's no desire. Again, there's no desire. Like, some of these movies are like, yeah, they're really good movies, but they're not entertaining. Like, I think I speak for just about everyone on the planet when I say, like, I enjoy thought-provoking movies, but I don't like mush, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what drives me nuts about some of the Oscars. I'm like, well, this is just blah. This isn't anything.
Yeah, it's like Hollywood's obviously trying to, like, push, like, opinions on us, too. Like, with a lot of their nominations.
Yeah, like, Don't Look Up, I'm like, this isn't anything.
No.
Like, this is a B-tier movie. I'm like, oh, this is okay.
Kind of reminds me of, like, when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was up for, like, the Oscars. It's a B movie.
I like that movie, but yeah, I didn't think it was an Oscar-worthy movie. I'm like, this is a really good movie. I like this movie. Didn't think it deserved to be there. And it's not even me being a prick. I own that movie. I love that movie. I don't think it's that.
And we got, like, the best achievement in cinematography was Dune. Dune, like, won
I think that's
a ton of
obvious.
Oscars.
They won, like, basically every set design Oscar there could have been.
Yeah. Film editing, Dune. Production design, Dune. Kind of surprised Corella won for costume design. I thought that was going to be another one by Dune.
I have not seen Cruella yet. I don't have a desire to watch Cruella. Do you?
Not really.
Yeah.
Even though we share a last name, not really. Just kidding.
That is true. I was thinking about that. I thought about that one night. I was like, oh, they have the same last name. Best sound.
Dune.
Best achievement in makeup and hairstyling.
Kind of surprised that didn't go to Corella or Dune, if we're being honest.
On the low, I kind of thought they would give it to House of Gucci.
I'm happy that film was only nominated for this and didn't win.
No, that seemed like an Oscar bait movie,
That
too.
film was 100% an Oscar bait film that completely failed.
Which sucks, because I'm a big Lady Gaga fan. Like, she can act, she can sing, she can dance.
See, like, I'm an Adam Driver fan, And I even didn't want this film to get nominated for anything.
I had zero desire to watch it. Coming to America, it's probably the worst movie to be nominated. Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Pictures, Dune.
Kind of surprised by that a little bit.
I thought it might be Encanto.
I thought it was going to be either... Yeah, I thought it was going to be Encanto.
But whatever. Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Pictures. So it's basically just Best Original Song. And,
I mean, yeah. Billie Eilish was obviously going to win this one.
No Time to Die.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be that was pretty obvious.
That's fair.
Visual effects, Dune. I think the worst movie nominated here might be Free Guy. It's not a bad movie.
I didn't mind Free. Yeah,
it's not a bad movie.
But compared to the rest,
I
see what you're saying. Best Achievement, yeah, Dune 1, Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, No Time to Die, Free Guy. All very good, special effects movies, but...
And I know you have a take on this, so I'll let you take over at this one for Best Animated Feature.
Okay, yeah, on the low, I really thought Encanto was just kind of a mid-tier movie.
Especially, for, Pixar. Or was it Pixar?
It was just Disney.
It was
Disney Animation.
Yeah, especially for, Disney. It was kind of... I heard it was kind of just mid.
Okay, if I were to rank... I haven't seen Flea, but I have seen all the others. You have Luca, Raya and the Last Dragon, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, and Encanto. I would probably go Flea, because I haven't seen it. I don't know it. I would put Raya and the Last Dragon at 4. Encanto 3, Luca 2, and Mitchells vs. the Machines number 1.
Can we say though, Disney took a W this year for animated movies? They all did super well, but I would kind of say they maybe dipped a little bit in production.
I really think Encanto's a mid-tier movie.
I think it deserved to win. Yeah, Encanto's not a bad movie by any means, but
it felt very safe.
Yeah.
And that's my take on it.
I will say one thing, even though the reviews have been less than stellar for it, Turning Red, something different.
It was different. It was not made for men. I watched it and I was like, oh, this is not.
But it's a risk. It was definitely, I think, a pretty risky movie.
If you want to be a good team, you make the safe pick. If you want to be a great team, you make the risky pick.
And I'd say that movie was probably a risk, at least for what I've heard about it, especially the subject matter.
Did you watch it? Oh, you haven't watched it?
I haven't.
I watched it because I just watched it. I enjoy Pixar movies in generally. I didn't care for this one because I'm oh, this is not for me. This is not me. It felt like if I was a woman watching American Psycho, you'd be like, this was not made for me. This was not made for my
and that's what I've heard. I've heard it's more for 12, 13, 14-year-old girls kind of type was the target audience for it.
Puberty. It's about women going through puberty.
Yeah.
I'm well, I'm not a woman and I've already been through puberty, so.
I thought you were going to say, well, I'm not a woman. I haven't been through puberty.
I'm still aware on my lack of sleep. I'm still quite aware. I haven't seen any of the short films.
Yeah, we're just kind of... Honorary award, though. Samuel L. Jackson somehow hasn't won an Oscar. I shouldn't say that. Should have an Oscar, but doesn't. Can we say... I just want to say something how didn't he win it for Pulp Fiction?
He was so badass in that. He's in a bunch of other pretty good roles, too.
But,
Coach Carter.
I was actually looking at this earlier, how didn't he win that year for Pulp Fiction? Let's see.
Who are the nominees? I'm curious now.
Yeah, I'll tell you. And then you're going to look at who won and be like, what is that?
This was in an era when, movies that people watched actually got nominated instead of...
Yeah.
It was it's between Forrest Gump, Master and Commander. Great movie.
And, the shot... this year for movies was actually kind of crazy.
Was it 97, right?
95.
95?
So you had Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, and The Shawshank Redemption.
What did he...
Okay, so Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Martin Landau won for Ed Wood.
Never heard of that movie.
And then Bullets Over Broadway, Chaz Palminteri, Gary Sinise for Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Paul Schofield for Quiz Show.
Never seen it.
And then Samuel L. Jackson for Pulp Fiction. Like, how didn't he win?
I don't know.
Like, if we're being honest, it should have been Jackson, Sinise, and then Landu.
It's all an opinion, man. It's all an opinion. But that's part of the problem with the Oscars.
The Academy Awards, this is why no one likes you.
I've done a deep dive into the Oscars since then, so...
Okay, and now this is where I have a bone to pick. The Oscars cheer moment. How the frick did a movie that didn't release in theaters win this award?
Hey, man, Snyder Cut, pretty damn good.
I know, I accept it. It's a good movie, but the Oscar cheer moment is like, it's kind of defined as like a movie that had all fans up in their seat cheering, watching the film.
Hey,
So it's basically like the best theater film, like the best film that was to watch in theater, and it wasn't a movie that released in theaters.
To defend this movie, it was satisfying to see, like, okay, because you had heard all the rumors about Justice League, of like he was kind of an asshole on set to like Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, and so they like essentially brought in Justice League to make it the Marvel movie.
Yeah.
A Marvel movie. And like you watch the Snyder Cut, I'm like, well, this is much better. I don't know why I'm like, this makes a lot more sense than Justice League. So I mean, to me it was like, you know what? Good for you, Zack Snyder.
Like here's one thing. I could easily see it in the Oscar fan favorite. Like, that's probably what it should have won. And then the Oscar cheer moment should have went to something else. Like, in my opinion, probably Spider-Man. Like, because I think the Oscar cheer moment, that's literally, like, Spider-Man was made for that. Like,
maybe. But I think it's a little more satisfying to see a guy that, like, lobbied for his vision and people shit on him for it, and then have that vision come to fruition, and people are like, why didn't they listen to this guy?
Yeah. Like I said, if it was me, I probably would have had the 3 Spider-Man like scene. Because it's actually like a scene, not like a movie. It's The Flash enters the Speed Force was the Oscar cheer moment.
It was pretty cool, admittedly.
But it's like 3 Spider-Men should have won that, and then I'd honestly like be fine if it won Oscar's fan favorite. Because then it's like, okay, I can see that.
What did win the Oscar?
Army of the Dead.
I remember my parents were watching that movie like, this looks terrible.
You know why it won?
Because it had Dave Bautista.
Because it was directed by Zack Snyder. Because
Zack Snyder...
Because Snyder fans are, like, are dangerous.
They are dangerous. You ever seen 300? That is the average Zack Snyder fan, is a Spartan. You ever seen that movie, though, 300?
I have.
Did you like it?
I thought it was...
See, you're obligated to like it here?
Like, honestly, like, I thought it was fine. Like, I didn't think it was great. I thought it was just fine.
Really?
Honestly, like...
That is a top-tier smegma, like, bro movie.
I thought it was good, not great. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was a little overrated.
What?
For what I've heard about it. Like I said, I didn't hate the movie.
A bunch of iconic
I liked
lines.
the movie, but I thought it's kind of overhyped by people.
I like it. Well, I think part of it is like if you're from Superior, that's the mascot is a Spartan. So then, like you watch that movie and you're like, yeah, I'm a Spartan. Yeah, that's me. That's literally me. So, just a personal opinion.
Alrighty, should we get into the slap now?
There's so many questions in this. Number one, do you think it was real?
Oh, 100%.
It has to be.
I don't think it was real. I don't think it was fake.
I don't think you could stage something like that.
Like, people are like, ugh, the Oscars are just trying to get people back into their stuff. It's like, well, one, if they're going to do that, they'd do it with, like, someone, like, who wasn't going to win Best Actor.
Like Mel Gibson. They're like, we've already cast you out once.
It's Mel Gibson, so like they'd believe. It's way more believable. Like they would have just set Mel Gibson up there after a joke to slap the shit out of someone.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to think. They're like, Harvey Weinstein says a joke. Harvey Weinstein descends down from the roof and he calls Jada Pinkett Smith. He's like, xenomorph, bitch. And so then Mel Gibson goes up and slaps him.
I'm just thinking, like, you make a joke about Mel Gibson being Mel Gibson, and he just storms up there and smacks someone.
That would I think people would talk about it less if it was that way.
I know, but you know what would have been really funny? If Amy Schumer told a joke about a lady in the thing, and it was just a full-on brawl.
I have my own personal
like
theories.
Kirsten Dunst throwing down with Amy Schumer. Because
I
was about to say, you heard the joke about that Amy Schumer made about Dunst, right?
No.
Called her a seat filler, as she's nominated for like best actress or whatever, right? Or best actress in a supporting role. It's like, you've been really funny if we swapped Will Smith and Chris Rock for Kirsten Dunst and Amy Schumer.
Would we talk about it as well?
Oh, I would 100. Everyone would be talking about that because everyone hates Amy Schumer. So, like, watching Amy Schumer get curb stomped would be all over the
That's
internet.
true, but I guess to me, I'm like, would it be as much as a public thing, like a pop culture? Like, this is a moment you will talk about forever.
I think you could have swapped anyone, like any A-list actor, with anyone, and it would be huge.
It's so tough. I'm like, I can't even think of like a female comparison to that.
To Will Smith.
It'd be like if Queen Latifah slapped.
I wouldn't even say. Nah, Queen Latifah is not on like a Will Smith.
Well, I'm trying to think of like wholesome black woman.
I'm thinking more like just a wholesome woman. I'd be like Jodie Foster or Sandra Bullock smacking the shit out of someone. I'd be like one of those two slapping the shit out of someone.
Dude, 90s Sandra Bullock could slap the shit out of me and I'd be fine. She could like make my teeth disappear and I would be A-okay. She is so fine. Like, she was in this movie Before You Wake Up or something like that. She had bangs and she was some ticket master. Oh, to die for. I'm like, she could have my soul. I would sell. I would fold in an instant. It would be over. Anywho.
So kind of like, what's your opinion about the slap? Do you think it was? Are you one of those people who think it was justified? Or are you like one of those people like, no, that was on the line?
Well, here's the thing. It's such an interesting event because you have to pick a side. You're either team Will Smith or team Chris Rock.
Now, here's my take on it. You know whose team I'm not on? Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't care. Insult that bitch all you want.
She kind of sucks.
She sucks and she's a bitch. I don't care what anyone says.
She kind of sucks, but
everyone out there defending like, oh, she's sick. No, she's not.
She's sick.
No, it's not a sickness. She's not gonna die.
She has an immune disorder.
It's not gonna kill her.
No, but literally, it's not something you make fun of.
The only thing it does is make you bald.
Yeah, and that sucks. As a woman, that sucks. That really does suck.
Like I said, I don't care. It's Jada Pinkett Smith. She had it coming. Karma's a bitch.
I'm just saying, objectively, if you don't look at her past, if you're just like, there's a bald
If it was someone else, okay, yeah, that's fine.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's where you have to view it. But when
you're as big a bitch as Jada Pinkett Smith, I don't care.
I'm about to go full on like Stephen A. Smith on you right now. Because I think, I'm like, Will Smith did something wrong, but
like I said,
it's his wife. You don't talk about another man's wife.
Like I said, I don't care. It's Jada Pinkett Smith. Make fun of her all you want.
I'm saying, like, if it's, let's say,
I might sound horrible for saying that, but she's a horrible person, so I don't care.
She kind of sucks, yes, but at the time, I'm like, is it a joke? Is it a funny joke to make? If like, oh, this woman is losing her hair out of something completely out of her control. If she shaves her head, it's not a great joke to make, but don't shave your head. But she can't help it. She's going bald. She has alopecia. It's not fair. You don't make fun of someone for something they can't help.
So you say that, right?
Right.
Well, it's not out of the ordinary for people to make bald jokes or fat jokes. It's like no different than that. It's like people do.
Yeah, but you can help
it's
that. You can absolutely help that. Like if you're a fat dude, it's like, well, go hit the gym.
Well, how about a bald dude?
It's like, yeah,
no difference.
Yeah, but that's natural. Like if you see a bald dude, you wouldn't be like, oh, G.I. Jane 2. If it's a bald woman, you're gonna think twice.
I don't know. For me, it's like I don't care. It's the Oscars. Don't be butthurt about a little joke.
But again, it's not. It wasn't in the script. It wasn't a funny joke to make. It was. You know what? That's the thing. That's the thing with our generation, Preston. You bully someone, you should expect to get hit in the mouth. I'm sorry. He he was bullying Will Smith's wife, and he got punched in the mouth for it. That's what happens. That's the natural order of things.
See, I don't think it was a justified hit. It's the Oscars.
I don't think it was that justified either.
Take a joke.
See, to me,
your marriage is open to everything but jokes now. Like Jesus Christ.
See, to me, here's the thing. Is I remember in 2016 he kind of made a joke about it, and I wonder if Will Smith then was like, ever do that again.
Okay, but that joke was actually hilarious.
It was funny. But I'm saying, like, at the time, I wonder if he pulled him aside. He's like, if you ever do that again, I don't care how many cameras are on you, I'm going to hit you right in the mouth. And he said, okay. Because to me, what concerns me is the fact of, like, he says it, and he's like, that was a nice one. And I'm like, he's almost, like, trying to reassure him that, you know what I mean? Like, like, it kind of felt like that's what he was going for, was trying to reassure him.
Like I said, it's the Oscars. It's a joke. If Leonardo DiCaprio can take a joke about, like, really young girlfriends, you can take a little joke like that. It's
I know, but that's
Jonah Hill's
something
been
he
through,
can help.
Jonah Hill's been through a lot worse roastings at the thing. Same with Kevin Hart being a midget. Like, if they can take it, Jada Pinkett Smith can take a slight little jab.
Here's the other thing is you have no idea what could have transpired earlier in that day too, of like, okay, maybe she like tries to make a conscious effort of like, I don't want to embarrass you on your day because I'm bald, and maybe because to be honest, if I was a man and my wife was like crying to me, she's like, I don't want to ruin what is probably going to be the best day of your life, and Chris Rock makes that joke, and now your wife's like hurt. Like, does that not like resonate with you at all? Because to me, I'm like, that's
not really, because it's like, for me, it's like, again, it's the Oscars. There's jokes made about something, like, there's jokes made in that capacity every year.
I know, but
no one's ever been offended by him up until the other day.
To me, it just, like I said, you have no idea what could have transpired, and to me, like, that's the way it feels.
And here's my thing about it, like, Chris Rock didn't even know it was whatever it was called, didn't even know that. He thought it was just a shaved head. Like,
but that's why you don't just say those things. That's why you don't. That's the problem with their generation. You can just say things and nothing happens, and that's, I think,
it's actually the opposite. That's the complete opposite. In our generation, you can't say things because you'll be canceled right away. It's the opposite.
If I could see someone like type does it twerk on goddamn TikToks and nothing happens, like, I think there's no in between of like, yeah, you shouldn't say that.
See, now, like, I look at it the different way. It's like, I think our problem is that everyone's getting offended about every little thing nowadays.
Yes.
5 years ago, this is a no story. Like, no one cares that it's a joke. It's like, they're like, it's a joke. No one cares. Quit being.
But you don't know that. You have no idea because it happened now, and that's where I'm like, yeah, you know what? You can't just say things. And like 40 years ago, I'm like, that probably would have happened.
But here's my thing. Also, you can't assault someone either on stage.
Probably can't. No, but
there was only one law broken at that whole thing, and it was Will Smith assaulting someone.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, well, if you take away Chris Rock from that situation, does that happen? No. That's where I'm like, oh, Chris Rock's in the wrong.
Like I said, he's a comedian. His job's to make jokes. If you're
there's a difference between making a joke and being a prick. That was being a prick.
I mean, so was Will Smith was also being a prick, if we look at it that way.
But I'm like, degrees of justice here. I'm like, yeah, well, Will Smith also
It's Hollywood. They're all pricks.
True. Then you'll fit right in.
Like I said, it's a joke. It shouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Yeah, but you shouldn't say that either.
I mean, it's not like he made a joke about 9/11.
No, but you don't joke about it. Like I said, you don't joke about something that she can't control. You know, it's like, it would be like if a guy had a tumor on his face and he made fun of him for it. You know, like, it's like he can't help that. That happened to him, and he's here now trying not to embarrass anyone he's with because he has a tumor on his face.
Yeah, I could see your point, but I don't think it was that big of a deal. I don't think it was big enough to assault someone on stage.
But it was
It's a thing that you talk behind closed doors and don't address to the public.
I thought it would have been way more badass if he stood about 4 feet away from the mic and was like, "You ever do anything like that again, and I don't care.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't give a shit.
He didn't. That would be fine. But here's my thing. He assaulted someone.
Well, Chris Rock refuses to press charges. I said.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because Chris Rock's the bigger man in this situation. Well, he gave his apology, and he's not pressing charges.
That's all you can ask for, I guess. But to me, he initiated it. And that, to me, like I said, you don't make fun of someone for something they just can't help. That's noticeable. And like I said, I really think prior to that day, I'm like, I bet she was like, I don't want to embarrass you on your day because I'm bald. And when someone hurts your wife like that, like, you swing for the fences.
Like I said, this is something that should have been resolved behind closed doors. But he
shouldn't have said it to start with. He shouldn't have said it to start with.
Like I said, it's comedy. You gotta take it with you just gotta take it. You can't be getting offended by every little thing.
Well, that's a different. That's what bullying is, though. It's just a joke.
And then
it's just a joke.
And then when you make every aspect of your life public, you especially can't get offended by comedy.
Maybe, but at the same time, like, that's how bullying works. Where it's like, it's just a joke. It's like, Preston, that's just a joke. I didn't mean that. There's a difference
between saying, it's just a joke, and then it was a joke. Like,
there is no difference. That's the same thing.
That's like whenever people are like, I'm just kidding, it was a joke. It's like, no, that was intended to be an insult right off the bat. There's a difference between doing that and then just saying, and then giving just an actual joke.
But that's what he did. He's like, that was a nice one. That is essentially like, it's just a joke. It's just a joke,
because intentions were completely different.
His intention was to make a joke about something she couldn't help. That was his intention, was to make people laugh at her. Like, to me, I'm like, that's just being a bully. That's being a prick.
Like I said, I honestly don't really care about the thing.
I'm a little over it now, but yeah, I don't think, like, the vitriol that Will Smith has gotten, where it's like, that was disgusting. I'm like, well, Chris Rock sure as hell didn't fucking help him any. Ridiculous.
And like I said, for me, it's like, it's Jada Pinkett Smith. Karma's a bitch.
She kind of sucks, I will admit.
It's like, she's the one who drug her husband onto a
podcast.
Not podcast, national television, on a show that he funds.
Right. Talked about how she had to cheat on him.
And then talk about how and then expose that she cheated on him and doesn't regret it. Like, that's the person we're talking about getting roasted. So I don't care that there was a bad joke made about you, because you kind of deserve it. Fair.
That's fair.
For me, it's like, yeah, you say it to someone else, it's like, okay, probably not did say that, but it's her, so I don't care.
That's fair. Like, yeah, I guess to me that's where I'm like, well, that shouldn't matter if it's her, because it's not like she's she's done some bad things, but it's not like she's an outward villain where she's like, I hate puppies, I want to kill puppies. You know?
No, I think she's an outward villain. Like,
no, I don't think she's an outward villain.
Every time you hear about her, it's because of something bad.
Yeah, but to me, I just think it's like, well, if it's anyone else, is everyone like, well, that's too far? Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I'm like, yeah, you know what? Doesn't matter. It does. It's but like, for me, if you make fun of her for cheating on Will Smith and them staying together, that's fine, because that's something to me, like, they can help.
Think that would have been over. I think that would have been an overreach.
So you're the opposite.
Because then you're making fun of her and Will. And what did Will do to get
But you're already, by making fun of her, you're making fun of Will.
I disagree. That was just a complete joke right at her. And for me, it's when you've done terrible things in the past, get ready for jokes to be made about you.
Yeah, but that's how marriage works.
When you're at your low.
That's exactly how marriage works, though. Like, oh, you're a team. If someone makes fun of me, they make fun of you too because you're with me. You picked me.
And I just want to highlight one thing. Like, props to Chris Rock for not making even more. Like, Chris Rock could have like completely ended them.
He absolutely ate that slap. I will admit.
He ate the punch and then like didn't say anything else about it. Like, if he wanted to, like when Will was yelling at him, even I could think of a couple lines that he could have said that would have absolutely destroyed both of them.
Well,
but no,
didn't.
Like, props to him for just like...
He probably had CTE kicking in. People forget that Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie.
Yeah.
Because he came up there and, like, he makes absolutely no, like, broadcast as to what he's going to do until he does it.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a wind-up. He just gets a nice step in. Like, it was a Muhammad Ali jab punch. He jabbed him.
I wouldn't even say a jab, because a jab you don't get your whole body into. It's just a quick, like...
That's true, because... Well, I was going to get up and model it, but then I realized there's no
We're not
camera.
on the video. No, like, he completely, like... It was a wind-up. Like, it was a... Like, everyone's like, it's a slap. No, that's an open...
It was an open
punch.
hand punch to me. I call it a slap because everyone calls it a slap.
It's
but,
like... But, like,
the way
he got
it.
into it and more hit him with his palm than his hand.
Well,
like, that was a punch.
He had an excellent, like... If you want to look up a textbook, like, open hand punch... Like, it was a clinic on how to do it. Because, like I said, he doesn't give any sort of telegraph as to what he's going to do, but he gets a nice, quick, excellent finish, gets his hips into it. Very, very good. If Chris Rock doesn't stumble over his words, that would be more iconic, but he does, unfortunately.
It's like, can you blame him? He just got assaulted on stage.
On live television. I don't know.
Like, he was like a professional after that too. Like, he took that professionally. Like, he was just like, yeah, just like nothing happened. Almost.
Man poured all of his stats into defense and no offense. Literally.
Like, imagine if it was like a full out brawl. Like Will Smith sees it, or like Chris Rock sees it coming, like dodges it, and they start just fighting.
I saw Denzel talk to him after the whole thing. They asked him to leave, and he said no. I did see that.
Did he?
They asked him to leave. He said no.
That's the thing. Well, when they ask you to leave, you leave.
Well, he didn't, and he got to stay.
Except
and he won Best Actor.
Hollywood hypocrisy.
That's where I'm like, yeah, I don't think he should.
It's like, because you swap me for Will Smith. And, like, let's say I go to a comedy show.
A work event.
I'm sitting...
A work event.
Yeah. Like, let's say we go to a work event. We go to a comedy person. The comedy person makes a joke about me, and I go up and punch him in the face. I'm going to jail.
Yeah, but it's about, like, it'd be, again, let's go back to the...
Even if they don't press charges, I'm going to jail.
Again, it would be like if a comedian made fun of your wife's tumor on her face.
I'm still going to jail.
Are you still punching that guy?
No, because I'm going to jail.
You're missing my point here. Of like, it's not that's not the
and
same.
It's like, no, I'm not assaulting. I'm not assaulting him. Assault in pretty much any way is never the right response. You talk to that person you pull them aside and talk to them behind closed doors, and talk about it like men do.
But I think that's what he already did, and so that's why I think he did.
See, no, that's the thing. We can't make that assumption.
We can't, but in my mind, I'm like, there's a couple different ways this story could definitely work out. So
it's like, for the information that we have right now, what Will Smith did was wrong.
Right, but it's not, like, you can't sit here and pretend like, what Chris Rock did was fine.
No, that's the thing. For me, it's like, it's not fine, but then yet again, it's the Oscars, so you're going to be made fun of. Because everyone gets made fun of.
I know, but that's not... There's a difference between making fun of someone and, like, just outright being a dick to someone.
Is there? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, when I think of someone being a dick to someone, I think of them constantly berating them, not making one quick little joke about them in wanting to keep it moving on, but that person overreacting and keeping the joke on them.
But that's the thing, though, is that's what a bully would
It's
say,
like-
is be like, oh, you're just overreacting. Like, no, if you have a right to feel the way you do about something.
Yeah, but you don't have the right to assault someone. That's the thing.
I'm not talking about the assault. I'm just saying, I'm not talking about Will Smith. I'm just talking about, like, in that moment, he makes fun
And
of
here's the
Jada
thing.
Pinkett Smith for something she cannot
They made
help.
it worse. Like, you just don't acknowledge what was said, and no one looks back at it. No one says anything about Jada after that. Here's the thing.
Yeah, but
the way they
still,
reacted put her in the spotlight even more.
That's to me, like, that's just something that, like, you can't just take someone doing that, though. You just, like,
Sure you can. They do it every year. People,
but no one makes that joke. That's the what you're missing.
I've heard a lot worse at the Oscars than that.
Like
joke.
what? Like what?
Huh. Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio took one of his girlfriends to the movies, and then afterwards she was too old. Or no, it was, and after they watched the movie, she was too old for him. That's worse.
That might be. I don't think that's
Or
worse
Jonah Hill
because
fat
it's-
jokes, or Bruce Willis bald jokes. Like, they're made every year.
But there's a difference. They're attacking them the person, not like it's Will Smith's wife. That it's like, okay, you know what? Jonah Hill wanted to be not fat. He can get into shape. We've seen skinny Jonah Hill. Leonardo DiCaprio didn't want to date young girls. Very easily can. Bruce Willis, bald dude, those exist. Bald woman, not so heavily prevalent in society. So again, that's where
Like
I'm
I said,
it's
if
not
if she
funny.
had like
It's just
cancer
not
or
funny.
someone, yeah, don't make a joke about it. But she's not like, this is like it's a sickness. It's a sickness in a way that a bald guy. It's like there's really no difference. It has no lasting.
It is different
health
because how many bald dudes do you see walking out on the street every day?
So because there's more of it, it makes it fine.
Because it's more common. Like there's been bald dudes since the dawn of time. There's not been
I said,
bald women
for me,
since
it's
the
like,
dawn of time.
It's really no difference than a male being bald. Like, it's not like she's gonna die from this condition she has or have like lasting health issues. The only thing is she lost hair.
Yeah, and it sucks. You can't help it. She probably, if I'm honest, she probably feels ugly right now. She probably feels really ugly right now. And that sucks. Because she can't help
Well,
it.
she should feel ugly for what she's done in the past.
I'm not judging her based on her past. I'm just saying, like, in that moment, this is my analysis of why that transpired. From a common psych standpoint. Different theories. That's just why I'm like, to me, yeah, I'm like, that's what a bully does, is they say something that's kind of mean, and then they're like, it's just a joke.
I don't know. For me, this is like someone bullying the bully. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I see.
Like, they
I'm
have
not
it
saying
coming.
like what Will Smith did was right. I'm like, yeah, did Chris Rock kind of have that coming? A little bit. Like,
And I wouldn't
you don't
even
make
say
fun
it
of
was the
someone for that.
bully bullying the bully. I would say it's someone like making fun of the bully.
You think Jada Pinkett
Because like
Smith is the
Chris
bully?
Rock's not a bully. Chris Rock has shown in the past he's not a bully. He's a pretty genuine dude. Like, it's like an average person making a little joke about the bully. And then the bully getting butthurt about it.
I just disagree because in that moment, Chris Rock is the antagonist. He absolutely antagonizes Jada Pinkett Smith over something that, again, she just can't help.
Like I said, I have no issue with it.
It'll blow over. I think it'll blow over within.
And it'll be a meme
A
for
week
like
or two.
years.
Oh yeah, this is every generation has a moment like this. Like I always think of the Janet Jackson nip slip. You have Kanye. Pick a Kanye moment.
Will Smith crying on stage.
When was that?
When, you know that meme of Will Smith crying?
Oh yeah, on her show.
Yeah.
She was literally talking about how she needed to cheat on him. Again, not saying she's a perfect person at all. At all.
Far from it.
Very, very far from. But to me, it's, yeah, there's a couple like defining live moments on TV that like our generation, just because live TV isn't something we just happen to watch all the time, you know, anymore. But yeah, I'm like, it's very comparable to Kanye being like, I'm gonna let you finish, but
I don't think it's comparable at all.
You don't think so?
Nah.
I think in terms of pop culture impact, yes.
In terms of impact, like pop culture impact,
again,
yeah.
like,
but
let's
like
talk
the situations are completely
right. I'm not saying that they're very, very similar. I'm saying like the Janet Jackson nip slip, Kanye West, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah.
Will Smith rocks Chris Rock.
Yeah, okay.
Those three moments are similar.
I thought you were saying there was like not much of a difference between the two. I'm like, well, I was about to say, like Taylor Swift did nothing wrong.
No, I'm just saying that like that whole instance in terms of like cultural impact.
Yeah,
they're kind of the same in my opinion. Of like, oh, we're gonna be talking about this for years.
Okay, so you're on the road. Will Smith did was wrong, but Chris Rock's not also wrong. I'm in the boat that Chris Rock might have overstepped a little bit, but ultimately it's a bully making fun of, or like a bully making fun of a bully. So I don't really care. And then what Will Smith did was completely wrong. So like we're kind of in the same boat, but kind of not.
Kind of, yeah. To me, I think like whatever punishment he's gonna get is gonna be too harsh. Where it's like, oh, I think he should never be invited back to the Oscars. I don't think he should have it stripped away.
That's my thing. I think he should not the entire like rest of the Oscars. He should get like a 1-year ban from the Oscars.
I say 2 or 3.
I could say I would be fine with 2 or 3.
Because he's not going to get blacklisted from Hollywood because it's not like he was like, I hate
like,
women.
And he shouldn't because like Hollywood's done a lot worse.
Again, if Harvey Weinstein can keep all of his Oscars for everything he's done, and Bill Cosby can, I would assume, still have his awards.
I'd imagine.
I could imagine. I've never heard of him getting stripped.
Even looking at like Mel Gibson, I think he might have an Oscar. He's assaulted people before. He's went on homophobic
anti-Semitic rants.
Yeah, it's like
as well.
It's like Hollywood's done a lot worse.
Yeah.
So like what Will Smith did was wrong, but for Hollywood, that's nothing.
No, that's kind of why I'm like, I don't think he should have it stripped because it wasn't like he cheated to get that award. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like he like.
Look at Astros. Think of the Astros. Yeah. They cheated to get their award. They should have it stripped. They don't, but they should.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same thing with Will Smith. I'm like, well, did he cheat to get that? Did he pay someone off to get
Jada
that?
Cheated. I'm just kidding.
Jada did cheat. That's funny. That's funny, actually. Again, Jada Pinkett Smith, far from a good person. Far.
She's on like my list of I think like my top like 20 least favorite like celebrities.
Yeah, she kind of sucks. I guess
like, and of course that list doesn't include like rapists or murderers, like because that's like a given. Like no one likes them. This is just like people who are like in Hollywood who are still like prominent members and like still famous and haven't faced the consequences of their actions.
Yeah, like Mark Wahlberg. You ever read about any of that?
Mark Wahlberg.
Didn't he beat a Vietnamese guy?
Yeah, yes.
Almost to death.
Yeah.
He got like a year.
I think he crippled him.
I think so. I remember reading that story because it was horrible.
Yeah.
Like Mark Wahlberg is
or like
doing fine.
Ted Williams, you know who Ted Williams is, right? Former baseball player.
I was thinking Pete Rose.
Like he did the same thing except to a black person.
Yeah, he sucks.
And I think he might have died actually.
Pete Rose sucks. That's one of my hot takes. I don't like Pete Rose at all.
I don't like Pete Rose either.
Oh, because some people are like, he did nothing wrong.
He's hella overrated too. Like I don't care what anyone says. Ooh, yeah, he's the hit king because he played for 30 years.
Well, he was a prick.
It's like I don't think he was ever the best player in baseball.
No, I just.
But we're off topic.
Yeah, again, like I said, I don't think he should be stripped at all because I think that's just too far. Because whether you agree or disagree with his actions, they had no effect. He was getting that award
no matter what happened.
A day before, a week before that happened.
Unless, of course, it was completely staged, and the Oscars were like, well, we'll give you the Oscar if you do this. But the odds of that is just a conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory. Biden's like, you're going to have to take one for the team, Will. He's like, I said something and I don't want it to get out or I want it to be minimized. Like, you're going to have to slap Chris Rock, man.
It's like when you look at like stuff like that in the past, like there's definitely moments where that's happened. Like where something political was about to go, like something like huge politically was about to like crash. And then like a celebrity obviously does something that catches everyone's eye and keeps like the focus off of it. Like that's definitely happened in Hollywood many times.
Let's just look at a microcosm. Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson. He's like, I want to trade, and then suddenly 22 women who have all had relationships with someone on the Houston Texans staff at the time were like, he sexually assaulted me. And that's not to say that they're wrong, but things suddenly get a little fishy when that happens.
Especially with how fishy their owner is.
Yeah, McNair sucks. Cal McNair sucks.
Like, have you seen the coincidence that the Houston Texans owner and then the lawyer for these 20-some women are their neighbors?
Yeah, I did see that. Because everything kind of lines up where I'm like, it's a little fishy. But that's the whole thing of like, yeah, there's definitely some very transparent blackmail for sure.
Alrighty, this is getting to be a pretty long podcast. Do you want to sign us off today, or?
Almost fell. This is the Prestin Sexton Oscar/The Slap podcast. Be sure to drop us a like, a subscribe. Make sure to recommend us to your friends. This is Gaby Sexman saying good night and good luck.